I think all art has a story to tell if you look close enough. I always think of myself as a visual storyteller. People always want to know more about the art. This is the story behind the painting. Remembering Tammy Faye. Hi everyone, Paul here. I want to tell you a story today about how a televangelist who was known for her over-the-top fashion helped start my art career. If you were around in the 80s, then you probably know the name Tammy Faye Baker. And if you weren't around in the 80s, you're about to. I'm going to tell you all about her and why I think she's such an inspiring person here in a minute. But first, I want to tell you the story behind the painting. Tammy Faye passed away in 2007. Shortly after that, I made a painting of her that I unveiled at an art show with the help of my drag queen friend Paige Passion, who dressed up as Tammy. Not long after that, I got a message from the real Tammy Faye's manager who saw my painting online and thought it really captured her, and he invited me to come to a memorial celebration that he was hosting in his home in Palm Springs and bring the painting and share it with everybody there. I had no idea that a lot of the guests who were coming were some of Tammy's celebrity friends like Larry King and Cloris Leachman, Ron Jeremy. It was quite a mix, but that's perfect for Tammy because she loved everybody. I want to share an article with you that I wrote not long after I made this painting because it really helps explain why I care so much about Tammy Faye and why I think you should too. But before I do that, I am feeling just a little underdressed for this occasion, so excuse me for a moment. Ta-da! I feel gorgeous. I can't see you, but that's the price you pay for beauty. Now I feel I can accurately summon the spirit of Tammy for you. Seriously though, how do people do this like all the time? Okay, I'm going to read you my article now. This was published in an LGBT magazine shortly after Tammy passed away. As a boy who was raised Catholic and attended parochial school, I often found myself clashing with the ideals that were presented as gospel, especially when they reached beyond the sanctuary into other subject areas such as social studies and health. And try as I might, I couldn't resist the sinful urges to fantasize about my fellow male classmates or my future career aspiration, which was to grow up and be Dolly Parton. From a conservative religious perspective, things weren't looking good. Fast forward 15 years, a young, just out of the closet, 100% bona fide homosexual artist from the Midwest made a wonderful discovery: Tammy Faye Messner. The name instantly conjures images of fur, feathers, flowing hot pink fabrics, and most famously, mascara streaming from her trademark spider-legged eyes. And then there was the scandal. The PTL Club and Heritage USA, which landed her ex-husband in the slammer and ultimately put her on the path to becoming a gay icon. But how could a fresh-faced, spiritually disconnected gay 20-something find any connection to the pioneer of the electric church? The answer had to do with mutual acceptance. I refuse to label people, Tammy once explained. We're all just people made out of the same old dirt, and God didn't make any junk. Likewise, I eagerly added her to the ranks of my bevy of diva obsessions in spite of her curious televangelical past. If you're not sure why the gay icon's stiletto fits, look no further than her 2000 documentary, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, featuring narration by RuPaul and finger puppets. How could I resist someone so dynamic and unabashedly over the top, especially with a heart of pure gold beneath the fluff? In order to foster a relationship with her gay fans, both she and the gays had to kick down a big old Christian wall of hate. The kind that makes you think if there really is a God, surely mascara must be streaming down his cheeks too. Several years ago, I displayed a series of paintings depicting my friends in full-on drag makeup. I titled the show Tammy Faye's Tea Party and offered on-the-spot Tammy makeovers to reception attendees. The paintings were made to look like sideshow banners, and appropriately enough, few guests escaped without at least slightly resembling glamorous clowns. One of my friends sent an email through Tammy Faye's website telling her about the exhibit, and even though the show was conceived with the most loving intentions, I worried that she might take offense to the outright wackiness of it all. But in true Tammy style, she sent an email back saying she thought the show was a wonderful idea, and if only she hadn't been such a busy gal getting ready to film a new infomercial, she would have been first in line for the opening. The gracious letter was sent on pink email stationery, complete with illustrated cherubs. Last Saturday, I went on a date with my partner. We held hands as we walked up to the restaurant, shared a heaping dessert, and talked openly throughout our meal in the crowded restaurant about our wedding plans, mostly focusing on what the bridesmaids would wear. This is not the same world that gasped as Tammy embraced a gay man on her Christian variety show in the early 80s. Yet prejudice undeniably remains, the legacy of Messner's contemporaries like Falwell and Robertson. As we were leaving the restaurant, I noticed a red, faux-leather couch in the waiting area. It had an ornate gold frame that looked like it would fit more comfortably in the parlor of most mid-century brothels than in the somewhat elegant atmosphere of this Italian restaurant. I recognized it instantly as the Tammy Faye Couch. Several years ago, this was the very couch that Tammy sat on when she attended the Red Party, posing for pictures and signing autographs for her crimson-adorned gay flock. She was wearing her own smart little patent leather number that night and lipstick to match. As out of place in the Christian world as a tacky red couch in an Italian restaurant or a gay boy in a Catholic school. Later, when we returned home, we heard the news that Tammy had lost her battle with lung cancer. In my opinion, she demonstrated inspirational courage and surprising depth throughout her colorful life, from her open-armed embrace of those rejected by her evangelical peers to the self-deprecating humor that lasted until the end. When Larry King asked her last Thursday, the final night of her earthly journey, what she wanted to be remembered for, I stopped crying long enough to smile as the gaunt, frail woman responded with a familiar twinkle in her eye. My eyelashes. It is my sincere hope that her legacy will be even more far-reaching. And this is a quote from Tammy. I'm trying to educate parents in the Christian world and tell them these are wonderful people. Allow them to be in your church. Love them. Don't be so judgmental. Christians are so judgmental, and as a result of that, they become very cruel. When I go and stand among those gay men and women, I tell them I am a preacher of the gospel that loves you, and I accept you just the way you are. I cry when I say that, but I mean that with all of my heart. Somebody's got to love and accept them. Amen. At Tammy's memorial, I met the owners of World of Wonder Productions. They had produced her documentary, and they were just getting ready to start another little show called RuPaul's Drag Race. They owned an art gallery in LA, and they invited me to come and show my work there. And that truly was how my art career got started. I'm not a religious person, but I'll pray at the Church of Tammy Faye any day. And that's the story behind the painting. If you enjoyed this video, go down and leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. And while you're down there, subscribe to my channel because I have a lot more content coming your way soon. If you'd like to see more of my artwork, visit paulrichmondstudio.com.